people going to the internet, like Google, to look up their Odus or to look up Odus to get information more about them.
Okay, that's also a good topic. Something I wanted to talk about because I know I've heard some Babalaos that when they give you your Ikufa, your hand to be fa, they don't tell you your Odu for the very fear that you're just going to go look it up and read up on it and start practicing or living that life according to what you read. I believe everybody should know their Odu. I believe we should teach our God kids and the people that will receive them of how to work with this age of information. Before the internet, that wasn't a problem. Before, only books out there were those that you had, that you were a priest and you got it from an elder, you got it from another. If you're a Babalao, you got it from another Babalao. Now you can, Santeros, I see minority out there, everybody has PDF files, and Santeros be having books on Ifa and everything else, and get a hold of something and talks about what happens even inside the room. The information is not as sacred anymore, and the age of information is here, like on before. And with more people practicing, it's also an issue. Before, it was a certain amount of elders that you ran into and that you can verify and vet or just understand where they came from. Nowadays, you don't know who you're talking to. Now anybody can write a book. Mr. Joe Smith down the street can write a book. He received these ileques and had a misa and a necklace and had a ceremony. Decided to write his experience about the religion and write a book and become a bestseller. A lot of times people regurgitate information. A lot of times people misinterpret their information. A lot of times people have been misinformed and then continue to spread misinformation. But this is an age of information. There is a lot of stuff on the internet. You can learn a lot of stuff on there. But when it comes to the Odus, it's very important. It's very different because you were given information that Orunmila wanted to tell you on the mat. You were given information that Orunmila wanted to tell you in that reading. That can never, ever be replaced about what was said there and about what your elder can do to help you moving forward with that. There's all kinds of misinterpretations. There's all kinds of interpretations on Odus. There's all kinds of things that are said. But if my godchild or a client came to me to interpret Ifa for them, then I'm going to speak to you within an Odu, and Orunmila is going to give you to the Odu of the language that I understand. If you have an experience that Orunmila sees you're going through or about to have, he is going to throw the Odu that I know with that same experience and with that same information, with that, as opposed to someone else who will know another Odu with that experience and with that. But he told me to tell you. For instance, pick a Odu. Any Odu. Okay. That's a little bit of beer all day. Obiano. Suru. Patience. Suru. Stomach problems. Great. A lot of things, information within Obiano. Ogbe Ogunda. I'll give you quick and I'll spit some knowledge and information, blah, 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 and then I'll tell you some other things about the sign. So, Obiano. All right, so you chose, we could be here all day on this Odu. But, Obionu, Obigunda. Suru, patience. The stomach. There are many things within the sign. But many. There are volumes off of one Odu. There are volumes off of Ogbion. But how do we know what is Ifa trying to tell me of that? What is Ifa trying to tell me for the person? The Babalawo has to look at that sign. He has to look at the witness and the second witness. He has to look at whether or not the sign is coming in Ire. He has to look at whether or not the sign is coming in Osogbo. What Ire or what Osogbo? Who's defending? So first is the one part that Arumila is speaking to you in. Then there is the analyzation of the full diagram of the diagnosis. Then the third part is the ache of the Babalawo. The fourth part is my personal interpretations and experiences with the sign. So, Ogweonu, how would I know what to say to that person? If the other signs are strong signs of stomach problems and health problems, I might lean towards careful of your stomach. Be careful, don't be like the alligator, the caiman. Don't be like how he eats a lot and gorgeous. Fast, doesn't eat, but then eats a lot at one meal all day. Doesn't chew the food well. You can't allow in your saliva to mix in with the food that cause it to digest within it properly within your stomach. So what am I focusing on? The stomach part, the health part, the heart. Be careful. You have a lot of stomach problems. Your health is being affected. You came osogbo, aro, ano, otonowa. And then you come these signs of stomach issues, and I'm saying be careful. Your anger, your emotions, your extreme emotions are causing you to get sick within your stomach and cause heart problems. Okay? I can lead it with that. The need to be careful. Chew your food very well. Be careful of your dental hygiene. Be careful of the things that's going on in your teeth. Be careful what's happening in there that you're mixing in. You could have a problem with your teeth. That is a problem that is mixing the bacteria that's mixing with the food that's causing problems in your stomach. If the other Odus are speaking about relationships, Obeyono, be very careful about provoking. Am I speaking to the man or am I speaking to the woman? If it's a woman, be very careful that you can disrespect your husband. You can disrespect your boyfriend. You're becoming very angry. You are being very angry, getting provoked. Now, I'm not saying who's right or wrong, but it's talking about you getting provoked. The need for patience. And people think patience is in reference to you just waiting. Patience is remaining calm. Patience is enduring good character. Your iwa, your character, even amongst being provoked. Why are you being provoked? What are the issues? Are there insecurities? Are there jealousies? What is going on in these other signs? What is happening? And you're getting upset, and now there's going to be a provocation. Now there's going to be an altercation. Now there's going to be fights. Now there's going to be disrespect. What are the signs talking about? Problems, fights in the streets, arguments. What else could be problems? Well, we only talks about problems surrounding around food. Maybe you're going to go to an outing. I had a person that I told the same thing. Be very careful about this sign. Anything surrounding food, about getting provoked and angry. You can do something that can harm someone. You can kill someone. You can cause a fight. Wasn't that long after. 3 months later, he's a police officer. He was off duty. He was in a restaurant. He was with his family. He was eating food. There were some people there, some troublemakers that provoked him. He went over there, told them, "What's your problem? Be quiet." They stood up. They started flashing gang signs. It's like, "What's your problem?" They started approaching him. He pulls out his weapon, says, "Back up." The owner comes, tells you guys to move. Now he's like, "You got to leave or you're trespassing." It was a fight. So he has his weapon on him. They leave. He stays by the door. They pull up. As they were leaving, they were going to throw a bottle through the window. He steps out and he points the gun. They drop the bottle. Another guy comes out with a gun and he shoots him. They get in the car. So what am I telling a person? Did I tell him, be careful of your stomach?
No.
Right. This other Babalawo, he didn't. I'm telling him because I'm looking at his odus. I'm looking at the asobo, arguments, disputes, fights, provocations, ogun, blah, 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 woo, woo, woo. So Maya Chess telling him that. I didn't say, oh, your wife is disrespecting you. Or you know, you got to be careful of your stomach. You're not eating well. That's not the Ache. That's not the message. I told you be careful. Don't get provoked. You're going to be somewhere around food. Let it go. I said, why did you have to walk over there? Let it go. Do your ebo. He had ebo. It was no sober. He didn't do the ebo. Hey, did you see the news last night? So he goes to another Bawala. He didn't tell you this. He didn't tell you that. You look it up online. Oh, I got to do this. I got to do that with my Arula. I told you what needed to be told because Arula threw the sign for me and Maya Che to talk to you. Your Ori led you to my Ori to have Arula talk to you, and I gave you the information. Another Bawala might say, oh, he didn't talk to you about crowning, and that's sign you got to crown. Because that's what Arula became. They met his wife, and he was able to obtain a wife. And that's how Iyawo became into be, because he married the daughter of the king of the Iwo. And her name was Iya. And he put her through a bunch of tests. That song says you have to crown. He didn't tell you have to crown? I'm telling you what I'm feeling. I need to tell you. You look up online, or you didn't tell me this. You didn't tell me about this and about that. You know, so you know, at the end of the day, it all depends on what the readings are saying in my Eshe. I may tell you none of that. Let me tell you, be careful of your brother. The sign says you can lose a brother. The sign says you can have issues there. There are signs that talk about that. There are signs that may speak of the patience. Some people tell you stomach and you got a crown, and Obayon says about this and it's coming. I might say be careful. You're not eating enough. Strictly, you're not eating enough. If you eat, this talks about the Gun, the buzzard, who couldn't eat. He was lacking food. He was losing all his feathers. He became bald on his neck because he wasn't fast like other birds, and he didn't have the sense to be the hunt. He went to Ifa. Arula says, the reason why you are struggling and you're having hard problems with your mind and clarity and focus, how to know where to go and eat, and the reason why you're losing your feathers and you're losing your health is because you're not eating. So he did it both for him, and he had the Ache, and it says the Gunibun, the buzzard, is always around his next meal. And he had the Ache to always know when an animal's going to die and always know where to go. And they start lining up even before an animal dies, and they're always above their meals. And he became so robust and became so healthy that he ended up going straight to Olofi, because he was the only bird at that time, and the only species, animal left that can travel to Olofi, to Oloru, and to Earth, and to communicate. And he went to Olofi. And he says, I want to give Arula a gift, one E-ray out of all the E-rays. He goes, I don't know which one to give him. But he got the authorization from Olofi. So he goes, I'm going to go ask him. We went to Arula. He's like, I don't know which one to take, which E-ray. So he asked his wives. His wives were like, choose more children to take care of us. His children were like, choose more houses. His friends were like, choose more wives, bear more children. Others were telling him money. He could have had anything. Choose health. That way you can enjoy all the riches and the bountifuls things that you have. He says, I don't know. So what did he do? He went to Ifa. He went to the Babalaos and they consulted. And Ogbayono says, an elder who possesses patience possesses everything. Suru. So he said, okay, come back. He went to the bird because I choose Suru. Half of his wives left him. All his children disowned him. His friends ridiculed him for all the opportunity that he had for money, women, houses, health, and everything. And he chose patience. They said, you missed out on a wonderful opportunity. And the bird went to Olofi, gave him the E-ray. When Suru came down, All the other Irez, Iriariku, health and longevity was like, you know what, I can live without you, all you Irez, but without Suru, I won't exist. I need to be with my brother Suru. So Iriariku came down and Arula obtained the health. But then money says, I can live without you guys, but I can't live without patience or I won't exist. And money came down. And one by one, every single Ire came down to live with Arula, and Arula obtained it all. There's a lot of interpretations with that. Sometimes, you may look at that and be like, you know what, people are going to ridicule you for the choices that you're making. You may have to have some losses of people to go with what you feel is right. Don't listen to the people. Don't listen to your friends. Follow Ifa. At the end of the day, the message could just be follow Ifa and you can have it all. Or you can take the literal. Patience, endurance. What does that mean? Okay, I got to be calm. I got to be patient. If I have patience, I can have everything. I'm going to be calm. I'm not going to be pulled out of pocket. I'm not going to be provoked. I'm not going to be angry. I'm not going to get anxious. I'm not going to leave my road. I'm going to stay here. I'm going to stay on my path. I'm going to stay on the course of my Ori. And I can have it all. Out of all those things, I will decide what to tell them. One or all. Based on the reading and based my shape. Another Babalawo may see Ogboyon and will say something else. So at the end of the day, you read up on the internet. Oh, an Ogboyon, I got to give him this, and I got to do this, and I got to propitiate him with this, and I didn't feed my Leguan, I didn't do that, and I didn't do this. This sign talks about I got to do this and that. Well, you came to me, and the internet is not your padrino. The internet is not your Olu. The internet is not the Babalawo who gave you the information. Because I know what to look at. A good Babalawo will put the whole synopsis and put it all together and come up with a great reading for you. And that's just one sign. I got two other ones. In fact, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then I got shadows. I got the hidden Odus. All combined that I will give you a synopsis and tell you what you need to know at this time. Not only that, what type of reading did you get? Was it Opele? Was it Dafa Alukin Aniopan? Was it your life reading? All those makes a difference. Which Orisha was defending you also makes a difference. Be careful. You go ahead and I give you information, or Babalawo gives information, you go online, you look, or you start talking to some other Babalaos. Another Babalawo may have an information he learned with that sign that talks about protecting his children, about protecting this, about be careful of losing his house because he had that experience. And if that was the case, he would have gave him that Odu. Be very careful that if you go to someone to give you Ifa advice, they're the ones giving you advice. Now, I'm not such an a-hole or somebody, if someone, especially when they're Ita or Bikofa, or they happen to talk to someone else and they told them they're Odu. And they say, I tell them, listen, if you read something on your sign, or someone has to tell you something of your sign, come back to me. Let's figure it out together. That's good information. Seems okay. Seems right. Yes or no. Many times people come and tell me something, I'll be like, that is absolutely not something you should do. That's counterproductive. Or that's great. That's good information. So you come back to your elder, if anything, but never come with an attitude or with your ego, with a place of, you didn't tell me this. How come you didn't tell me that? You know what I mean? A good elder will say, listen, we'll expand, we'll look at something else, especially when it comes to Ita, life reads. If it's an Opela reading, very careful about throwing yourself into a place of information that will be a disservice to you. Okay, that's my advice.